Humans see the world with their eyes, but dogs see the world with their noses. So, by the transitive property, humans smell the world with their eyes? Weird. I mean, cool, but weird. Yes, a dog's nose is somewhere in the neighborhood of a gazillion times more powerful than a human being's. It's like your doggo has a superpower. And not only can it smell things that you can't, it can smell things you probably didn't even know had a scent. This is the Doggomentary channel. And today, we're going to see if we can sniff out what your dog's nose can really smell. They say that baseball is the great American pastime, but judging by social media, it's long been replaced by booping dog noses. And if you've ever booped your dog's nose, then you know it's cold, moist, and kind of leathery. Well, none of that is by accident. If you've ever been inside a public bathroom, you're already painfully aware that scent travels through the air, and the aforementioned qualities of a dog's nose help it capture those scents as they float by. Unlike you, however, your dog smells things in stereo. What we mean is that dogs can detect odors separately through each individual nostril, and that gives them the ability to tell what direction the smell is coming from. That means with just a few quick sniffs, they can tell what's around them and where it all is. It's sort of like Daredevil's radar sense, but considerably less useful when it comes to surviving hallway fights and taking down the kingpin. Of course, not all dogs are alike. Big dogs tend to have better senses of smell than small ones. Dogs with long snouts tend to do better than flat-nosed puppers, and hot dogs probably shouldn't have any nose at all. But in any case, the science behind how a dog's nose works is always the same. I smell some science talk coming. Let's see if I'm right. If we were comparing noses to cars, it wouldn't be too far off to say your dog is driving a Ferrari while you're stuck behind the wheel of a 1970 Ford Pinto. By which we mean your dog's nose is awesome and yours kind of sucks. It's not even close. Your average dog nose is 100,000 to 1,000,000 times more sensitive than a human's, and the nose of a bloodhound can be 100 million times more sensitive. That's why police use them to solve crimes, and why McGruff, the crime dog, is a bloodhound. Also, he has that cool trench coat. Dog noses are so powerful, puppies can recognize their mothers because they've learned what they smell like while still in the womb. And they can recognize their food because they could smell what their mother was eating while she was pregnant with them. We're betting you couldn't do that. Not that you'd probably want to. So how does it work? Well, when your dog sniffs at something, a small bit of tissue separates the air into two separate areas. One is for breathing, which your dog loves doing as much as you do, and the other is for smelling. The latter region contains the dog's olfactory receptors, and it has way more of them than you do. How much more? Well, you have about 5 million, which sounds pretty impressive until you find out your dog has roughly 300 million, give or take a few. As if that wasn't lopsided enough, your dog exhales through cool little slits on the side of its nose. That creates air circulation, which keeps sucking in odor molecules, and those molecules accumulate with each additional sniff. You can't do that because you breathe in and out through the same nasal passages. Hey, what can we tell you? Life's not fair. Anyway, once your dog has captured that smell, it's sent off to its brain for processing. And once again, your dog's brain is far more suited for the task than yours is. That's because the olfactory center of a doggo brain is much bigger than a human's, relatively speaking, of course. And thanks to that difference, it can detect, recall, and distinguish between an absolutely mind-blowing array of specific scents. Seriously, when you take your dog for a walk, it can smell everyone and everything you pass, from other people and pets to the contents of dumpsters and trash cans, to that T-800 trying to sneak up behind you. Jealous yet?
From the roses to sweet success to teen spirit, I can smell it all.
Another reason you're not going to want to throw down for a smelling competition with your dog is that it has an entire extra olfactory system that you don't. That system is rooted in something called the Vomeronasal organ, which you'll find above the roof of its mouth, if you're so inclined as to look. That organ can detect the release of any animal's hormones, including yours. And the Vomeronasal organ plays a big role in your dog's social life because it's what tells them when someone, be they human or animal, is hostile or friendly. Yes, emotions like anger and stress express themselves through the release of hormones. So, as crazy as it sounds, your dog can literally smell friendliness, a power most of us would have killed for in junior high. And that power tells dogs whether they should respond with tail wags and face licks or sing the song of their people by barking until your head explodes. That same organ functions as the OkCupid of the canine world by helping doggos detect potential mates while letting them know how healthy those matches are and whether they're already pregnant, which is a definite swipe left situation. And just to be clear, it works on you too. So if your dog can't stop sniffing around your belly, you might want to start figuring out how to knit booties.
Sure, I thought about going into obstetrics, but then I remembered that I'm a dog.
If you've got deductive reasoning skills like Sherlock Holmes, you might be able to look at a scene and parse out what happened before you got there. But most of us can't. Your dog, however, might give Holmes a run for his money because of its sense of smell and the likelihood it's not addicted to cocaine. What we mean is that when you come home at the end of a long day, your dog can smell where you've been, what you've been doing, and who you've been doing it with, which is just one of the reasons it's great that dogs don't talk. Or let's say you take your dog for a walk. Well, when you get home, it can smell the tracks of anyone who might have been there when you were gone, and even determine how recently your spouse parked their car based on how warm the engine smells. And while you were out on that walk, every time you passed a fire hydrant, your dog could smell everyone else who passed by, who they were hanging out with that morning, what kind of mood they were all in, and whether another dog had already claimed ownership of the hydrant. You know, by peeing on it. Heck, thanks to the wind, your dog can even smell into the future. Okay, not literally, but when someone or something is approaching from a distance or lying in wait for you, you probably won't be able to see it, but your dog sure might be able to smell it. The point is, dogs smell things that humans could never possibly see with our eyes. And that's one of the main things that made friendship with their wolfy ancestors such an attractive proposition to early humans.
I smell all, I see all, I know all. Well, actually, my eyesight is terrible, and I've never been to school, but I smell all.
And now that you understand all the cool stuff your dog's nose can naturally do, as well as the science behind how it works, it's time to take a look at some of the more specialized functions dogs can perform if they have the right training. You know, in case you're looking to get your dog a job. For starters, there are cadaver dogs. They can sniff out dead bodies in the wake of disasters and locate the remains of murder victims in cold cases that might go back decades. You probably already knew that was a thing, but did you know, with the right training, dogs can sniff out people who died thousands of years ago? In 2015, One archaeologist proved it by using dogs to locate a Bronze Age hill fort based on the smell of the graves that surrounded it. But that stuff is just the tip of the iceberg. Afraid you've got bed bugs in your home? Well, researchers have proven that dogs can be trained to sniff them out. Afraid you might have Burmese pythons in your home? Well, we'd recommend leaving and never coming back. But if that's not an option, there are dogs that can track them by their scent. Or what if you own a dairy farm and you can't tell if your cows are fertile or not? It's a big deal because dairy farmers need to know when it's the right time to inseminate their cows. Artificially, of course. In any case, there are dogs that can tell when that time is thanks to their amazing noses. Dogs can even be trained to smell diseases like coronavirus and even cancer. The bottom line is, dogs are cuter than you, more well-liked than you, and their sense of smell puts yours to shame. No wonder we love them so much.
Don't worry. I know how much you love me. I can smell it.
So, what's the coolest thing you've ever seen your dog do with its incredible sense of smell? Let us know in the comments below and tell us what other canine queries are on your mind. And of course, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Doggomentary channel.